And the show rolls on. We are in full swing, full chaos mode for fall food plot prepping and planting. It's late July now, and we're on a new farm that we are under contract to buy. It's more of a commercial farm for like residential housing than it is a hunting farm, but we started paying attention to this thing on a map, and it's got some spots that are really good hunting spots. So while we're under process with more of a commercial play here, we're going to take the opportunity to set this up and see if we can't pull some good deer off this place. If you've watched what we've been putting out, it is true that there is a ginormous deer that we're going to hopefully have the opportunity to hunt when season comes in, and we are in full swing on prep for that deer, and it's going to be an incredible opportunity. But you cannot put all your eggs in one basket, and so I'm already getting asked by my closest friends, like, you know, are you going to go for broke on that deer? Well, mentally we may, but it's just irresponsible, and it's just totally impractical to predict that we're only going to hunt that deer. So we're here setting up. We're going to set up 2 food plots today on this farm. So we're going to go mow and spray at the same time and get this ready for some food plots to go in the coming weeks. We'll hang a couple stands, but this is all in preparation to have options. While I'd love to just camp out and go for broke on that deer, and we may end up doing that if he becomes killable and he's consistent, you also have to have a lot of cards or a lot of bobbers in the pond when it comes to chasing big bucks. So excited to get this one underway. I honestly think this farm will surprise us this fall, so we'll call this the commercial piece. Keep following along. Let's go. That's how you do it, folks. You know what my grandpa would say? That grass is slicker than a cat's tail.
My thought is that we don't want to go the full width. The full width of the field is probably a good 55, 60 yards across at one point here. But I think we want to just stay at 35 to 40 yards. On the bottom side, obviously we're trying to get a bow shot. We're trying to get within bow range. There's an old light pole that used to be campgrounds or campsites from the sounds of it. My suggestion would be to start somewhere right there at that pole and then go pretty much the whole way back and keep it to 35, 40 yards away from the edge. We could bring it all the way back as long as you keep that narrow form right by your tree stand. You know, it doesn't matter how many deer are coming through here. They're at some point going to go through that for you to be able to shoot. I mean, we'll drive over there, but there's that, I don't know, is it a cherry tree or kind of right at that corner? That would be my goal, to get in there if we can. And then we're accessing it from the backside.
Well. We are after it. If you're watching our content and you feel like, man, you can intimately understand the level of chaos and stress and excitement and exhaustedness that goes into fall food plot prep, say that 5 times fast, we're in the thick of it. So I'm headed back to the truck. I'm gonna let Javen finish up mowing that inside kill plot that we've designed on the map for a specific wind. I'm gonna bring my truck back here because I don't have my side-by-side, and my sprayer is an ATV sprayer. So we're gonna actually put it, kind of like Ben does, we're gonna put it on the tailgate and spray that way. So I'm gonna go back and go ahead and get that set up. We're always in a race against time, but we're gonna hit this with 2,4-D glyphosate. I've got a crop oil in there, or a surfactant, and a little bit of ammonium liquid AMS, which is ammonium sulfate. So let's cover what all that is. Lots of times you hear people talk about Roundup and what Roundup does, and Roundup is glyphosate, and it's actually one of the lowest volatility herbicides out there. So what I've always done in the past couple years is I've added 2,4-D, which is a broadleaf killer, to the Roundup. Now the thing is, 2,4-D, you've got to be a little bit careful because it does have some residual aspects of it. So you can actually cause issues with, it acts as a post-emergent. So you want to wait 7 to 10 days, 14 days ideally before you would plant after spraying 2,4-D, but it does such a good job that I just always risk the fact that there is a little bit of a, you know, residual aspect to it. I just always risk that. It does a really good job of killing a lot of broadleafs that Roundup just won't kill. Then we use a surfactant or a crop oil, and all that does is help the chemical to stick to the plant better so it can feed on it a little longer. And then the last is ammonium sulfate. And what that does is it's a water conditioner, but it acts as almost like a fertilizer, and it tricks the plant into feeding faster, which of course creates a feeding frenzy on the chemical, which kills the plant quicker. Last thing I would say, if you're spraying and you're still learning what spraying is doing, like glyphosate is what's called a foliar killer. It's killed on contact. It kills whatever it's on contact. So it has to get on the leaves of the plant. What I mean is you don't have to soak the plant. Ideally, you're looking for about 12 to 15 gallons to the acre of water that should go out when you're spraying things like Roundup. So when guys say 3 ounces to a gallon of Roundup, it really isn't it's an inaccurate measurement. It's more so 2 quarts or 1.5 quarts to the acre of Roundup is what I usually use. 2 quarts to the acre. And if your sprayer sprays 15 to 20 gallons an acre, then you need 2 quarts of Roundup per 20 gallons of water, if that makes sense. It's more about getting quarts per acre out, not quarts per water, because your water is all calculated based on sprayer pressure, nozzle size, yada, yada, yada. Focus on how much your sprayer puts out in water in an acre. Run around on an acre at your normal speed with your normal sprayer settings and see how much water you've used, and use that as how much water per acre, and then add 2 quarts of Roundup, add 1.5 quarts of 2,4-D. You add about 1 quart of surfactant to every 100 gallons of water, and you add about 1 quart of AMS to every 100 gallons of water. So there's your chemical lesson for the week. Let's go hook this sprayer up. Let's go.
All right, I'm back here to spray this little plot. This is just a strategic small kill plot, maybe 1/4 of an acre, and I just got done mowing this. There's not any really big shooters here on this property at this point. We've been running cameras for a couple weeks now, but there's at least one mature deer. Looks like just a big old 8-pointer. I would shoot him for sure if we don't have anything else show up for me to hunt, but we're gonna get this all ready and set cameras and just wait and see what shows up here. We've never hunted this farm before. It should be a fun time. Well, that's a wrap on spraying this plot. This is about a 1/4 acre plot, and this will be a great spot for a mock scrape right here. If you guys know what tree this is one of my favorite tree branches to make scrapes underneath. Our stand is going to be to the east, just 10-15 yards or so. We'll be able to shoot pretty much this whole plot and shoot right to this scrape, monitor it with the trail camera. This is going to be a money spot. Hopefully there's a shooter buck that'll move in here. You never know what's going to show up after that summer to fall range split. We've never hunted this property before. It's going to be a lot of fun.